Anybody here cricket fans? No? No cricket fans? Football fans? Everybody's football fans, I know. Formula 1 fans? No. So if you're familiar with that sport, you might be able to get it then. But let's just see. Let's just do this. Okay? So I do a little exercise here now. Right? What is this? Rugby field. Huh? Cricket field. So most of you probably, well, I'm assuming most of you, that's a bit stereotyping. But most people are not really that interested in cricket.
We're all happy that England won the World Cup.
That's all. By default. Not by merit. Okay? With the help of a Barbadian. And South African. And New Zealander. And Irish. But we're not going to get into that discussion at the moment. Okay? So, so these are all batting positions, right? So you're probably not familiar with them. But I want to teach you just 3. I know most of these. So it's easy for me. But I want to test you guys. So I want to go through only 3. It's very easy. 3 positions. The first one is called what? Fine leg. What's it called? Fine leg. Where's the fine leg? Behind the batsman, towards his leg side. Right? Number 1 is what? Fine leg. Right? Quickly. Next one? Long leg. A bit more square. And the last one is called long off. Yeah? Easy. Nothing was hard about that. Yeah? Simple? Okay, next one. Let's go on to Formula 1. What's the track? Anyone know this track? If you know this track, you're a freak. Do you know this track? Abu Dhabi. You're just guessing. It's a Monza. This sounds a bit stupid. What are you doing, man? This is a lesson behind this, right? Just bear with me. Bear my nonsense for a little while. This is called Monza. This track is called what? Monza. Where is it based? In Italy. Right? Yes. It's got one famous corner called the Parabolica. Yeah? Got it? Right. Yeah? This is what? Silverstone in England, Sharif. Okay? It's got 2 very famous corners called Maggots and Beckett's. I don't know if it's pronounced correctly or not, but yeah. Those 2 famous corners. Yeah, so Silverstone has Maggots and Beckett's, right? This is Suzuka in Japan. It's got famous corners called the S's. Very fast corners. Yep. Yep. Everybody with me? They're getting bored, like Manan has lost the plot. Okay? Sports management here. Football. I don't know how to pronounce these words. Do you know how to pronounce these words? Be honest. He sits behind the forward or something like that. The next is called a register. He sits behind he's a defensive midfielder, but kind of. And the third one is called, I don't know, libero. I have no idea. I just Google these things. Everybody does that anyway. It's called Control C, Control V. Right. Then, so I taught you my lesson today now. Right, let's recap. G, what's Suzuka? Okay, better than I thought. G, what's fine leg? Which sport's fine leg? Cricket. Where is it? Do you remember?
It's just behind the batsman.
Did you know this before? No? We've got very clever people here then. Just behind the batsman. And what's the one bit further from him? Long leg. Which track is in Italy? Monza. What's in the other corner? Not that easy, is it? Okay. You guys are doing better than I thought. G, what's the defensive midfielder? And the sweeper? No, the sweeper behind the defenders. You guys are quite clever. Maybe your students are quite clever as well. When it does an arm, we're just like, huh? What's up? What are you talking about? The point, where's Maggots and Beckett's? Maggots? Silverstone. And Beckett, which comes first? Maggots or Beckett's?
Maggots.
You're too clever for me. So you hack my exercise. The point is, it's not that easy. If I ask you tomorrow, you're going to get confused. So, for example, now, you've been studying fiqh for how many years? Maybe 4 or 5 years. You study with a teacher. You've taught it through your life. A 5-year-old, you know these terminologies before that kid was even born. So, because 4 farahs of wuzu is easy for you, doesn't mean that it's going to be easy for everybody else, for that kid. You get what I'm trying to say? So, I don't know how the sisters were coping. But they might find it difficult. Some of them might find it easy. But I'm saying is that it's a lot of information. Now, if somebody says, "Oh, the parabolica is in Japan," I will start laughing at you. What are you talking about? But that's for somebody who knows F1. So if a kid makes a very stupid mistake, it's just like this. I gave it to you one day and said tomorrow I ask you what's the corner and is Suzuka called? It's like, why Suzuka? So if you come and say what's Suzuka again, it's not weird for you because like this is new for you. I don't know this. I'm not interested in this. It's something first time I heard in my life. So you have to put empathy. You have to empathize. So you're supposed to fail this exam horribly, then I can show you. But if you guys passed it, then it didn't serve the point. But you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah. That generally speaking, so Next time I'm going to put more questions, but like, make all the corners, all 11 corners and names of all of them. But you get what I'm trying to say, the point. The point is that somebody who's familiar with F1 from when they're young or football when they're young, it's not, you don't have to go back and learn parabolic, you don't have to do it. You hear it over and over again. So it goes into your mind. When they get, we call it cumulative, the factor. When they learn about wudu, they heard the wudu over and over again. They learn the four farais. They remember it very easily. They remember soon. You might say, how do I get mixed up to wajib and farad? So you're so obvious. For a kid, it may not be obvious. You get what I'm trying to say. So that's the whole point of all of this, is to be able to remember that they're going to have difficulties as well. And Allah says what? كَذَلِكَ كُنْتُم مِّن قَبْلِ فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ. Don't forget your past. So this is another context, but the whole principle is the same in it. That don't look at somebody today. Remember, it's a bit sad sometimes. We here in England, so we have a lot of laws, which is good, health and safety, child protection. But you might have one cousin here, one brother here, another cousin in India or in Barbados, another country, because they don't have the laws there. So the students get the same teachers from the same madrasa, because there's no laws there. Very harsh on the kids. So someone's telling me a story that, because there's this teacher, he's teaching his class, and he was very, very weak. I don't even want to use the words that he used. Now he's become a teacher. You're beating the children again. So you knew how. So one person went up to him and said, "What are you doing, you elder parent? You knew how much difficulty it was for you when you were doing hifz. You got battered sometimes by your teacher. You knew how difficult it was. كَذَلِكَ كُنْتُم مِّن قَبْلِ." So why are you putting the kids through the same torture again? But that's also why that happens. Another reason, I'll explain that shortly as well. So don't forget your past. When your teachers were going really fast and you found it difficult, when your teachers gave you really harsh exams, don't forget that. Let me give you an example. I was made to like a monitor for a certain issue. So we used to come late because of a certain reason to that appointed time. The first week, obviously, now I've got power now in it, so the power goes to your head. So the first week, the same students who I was like, before Ramadan, I was in that class, now I'm a monitor, I'm a teacher, so I'm a monitor. They come in late for the same reason I used to get late, stand up. And the guy looked at me, he said to me, he said basically the same thing, he said, "Udhkur." And I said, "No, Gustach, you have to stand up." You forget the same thing again. Don't forget how it was for you. Those are the biggest problems. You forget. And so you have to remember the difficulties you had, the hardships you had learning, the same thing can happen to the students as well. Okay? Yes? Everybody with me? Any questions? I'm going to test your exam on all those sports technologies later on at the end of the class. Okay? Right. When you're teaching, another thing you have to remember, very important, is that, what is in Gujarati? Is that what you say and what they understand is different. It's not their fault. They don't have a kind of USB adapter, whatever it just transfers. They form their own ideas based on their own preliminary knowledge. You get what I'm trying to say? They form their own ideas based on what they know. I'll give a simple example. Right? It's a Nurul Ilah text. So it says, Awratul Rajuli. What's awra mean? The part that needs to be covered. I never heard the word awra before. So my mind went to what? Aurat. In Urdu, aurat. Something, Awratul Rajuli ma bayna surrati wa muntaha rakba. I was like, huh? The whole masala is going over my head. I'm trying to figure out, why is the woman of a man? The woman of a man, how does and the Ustad never, maybe he did explain, I didn't get it. So I'm trying to figure out this whole masala of the private parts which needs to be covered. And I'm thinking awra means woman. So I'm trying to understand that masala. You get what I'm trying to say? So we form our own ideas. And at the end of the class, obviously, I asked a question, I got laughed at. But it's what happens. They don't remember everything. You have to appreciate that they can make mistakes. I thought awra meant woman. So I tried to figure out the masala with using that text. It's just really confusing. Again, Jeff Petty gives another. If you have a, imagine that obviously, you have a well, you have a fish in that well, and a frog goes out and explores the world, and comes back and tells its fish friend that I saw a bird, and a bird is an animal with feet. It's like an animal, but it has feet and it has wings. So the bird, what's the fish going to think? About something like this. Because all its preliminary knowledge is based on, it just knows that fish is a body, that's how I got a body, and it has probably wings and feet. So you got to remember that what you say is not always what they understand. You have to put yourself in their shoes. Try to And that's why we test them to make sure that they understood what you were trying to say. Okay? So there's a few that I copied from the internet. So one guy, again, the same thing, you get misunderstandings. So one person said, there's a car crash. So his mom said, when there's an accident on the road, when there's an accident, police come. So because for years I thought that when you wee yourself, what happens? The police comes. Because accident is normally for kids, oh, I had an accident. Do you understand? So, again, because what happened, the kid's not at fault, it's not his fault. It's because what you think. And I'm sure many of us have these weird things when we were small, that was what we thought. So when we're kids, we have this more, even when we're adults, or when we're learning, and the learning environment happens very often. What preliminary knowledge we have, based upon that we form our new conclusions. So we have to be able to make sure that we have understood. So potty train, is that with a potty train? We've got a train and a potty. So potty, yeah, so the train as in the kid what training as opposed to train. Okay. So if you want to be a successful student, don't lament the students for not understanding. Take the responsibility on yourself. That's one of the most fundamental things. I tell all our teachers that. Yes, if the students don't understand, it's your fault. If students don't understand, it's my fault. I didn't explain properly. Sometimes it will be their fault, but have that mindset that if they haven't understood, it's my fault. Why did they not understand? I didn't explain properly. If you have that mindset, sometimes we have that, okay, we have that moaning mindset, oh, in our time was so much better, nowadays the students don't study hard, nowadays the students, the istidad and the ability is very weak. And it's not true at all. They all have the same ability, but we have to take responsibility. If we teach them properly, they can surpass us, no doubt. But we have to take responsibility. It's my fault. If you have the blame game, it never works. You just blame somebody, so you become bari, you become innocent, and you absolve yourself responsibility. It's not my fault, students' fault. They don't work hard, they don't study hard, they don't have showq, they don't have zeal, they don't have ability, and that's it, I'm free, it's not my fault. And if you think, no, it's my fault, you will get better. You will sit down and think, why didn't students not understand? Why have this class, why have not progressed? That's why. So that's my philosophy. I mean, you might have different idea, but that's the way I look at it. And I tell my teachers that it's our fault. Anything goes wrong, it's our fault. Okay. Try understanding the misunderstanding. Try to get into their minds and try to understand why is it happening. When you analyze things, when you will get some kind of progress. Okay. Yes, everybody with me? Any questions? Any mistakes you want to point out of mine that I'm saying anything wrong? No, seriously. Any experiences, anything that you want to share that yet? No? Okay, when you speak at their level, what I mean, that avoid using like jargon. Because sometimes a word is easy for you. Again, you're 25, 30, 40, 45, 50? Roughly 45, 50? No? Yeah, no? So because you're quite older, your vocabulary? Hitting 60. So because your vocabulary has increased over the last 40 years of your research, things become easy for you, like simple words have become normal to you. We have to, and again, understand that, is it something that they understood? Is it in their vocabulary? So try avoid using complex jargon. Jargon, again, I'm using jargon to explain what jargon. Jargon means complex words, which we'll not be familiar with. Okay? But also at the same time, not make everything so simple. So let's say if I want to explain something, explain it in very simple terms, and then give them the difficult word or the terminology. You can say, because every single word, for a new student, every single word is difficult. Every single terminology is difficult. So simplify as much as possible. And then, so I'm not trying to say that you water down their intelligence and treat them like, like people who have no knowledge and they can't learn new stuff. They can learn new stuff, but just give them the preliminaries first. So whatever difficult thing you want to explain to them, they can understand. You can explain anything to anybody. There's one, I think, one very famous thing, that if you can't explain something to your grandmother, then you don't mean you don't understand it yourself. I mean, if you can't explain to them in a simple way, they understand it. Whether it's rocket science or whatever, you don't have to use the jargon, don't use the hard words, but explain to them in their own words. So if you've done that, I mean, you've understood it. So anything difficult, you can explain to kids, to your audience. But just make sure the wording you're using, the way you're explaining is at their level. Okay? Right. How to make chicken kebab, Google search. I'm not hinting here anybody. Subhanallah. I should change that. How to order chicken kebab on Uber Eats. Modern version, isn't it? So how to make chicken kebab. It's a kebab, whatever it is. Ikhtilaf al-lughat. You got one of these results, yeah? And the other results are these. Which one do you click on? Video. It is ijma on that. Nobody reads anybody goes to what? The video. In the videos, I don't know why people put all the effort in editing the video, putting an introduction. Because as soon as the video comes on, everybody press forward, past introduction. It's just one of those things. So everybody puts so much time and effort editing the video, putting an introduction and an introductory nazam or nasheed or introductory music, and then everybody who watches the video just press forward for 5-10 seconds till it comes to start. But anyways, that's not my job. So most people like practical learning, seeing things, how it's being done. Simple. If you have to make a kebab, or if you do anything, fix a pipe or whatever, you want to see the video because it's so much easier. And this is what the philosophy of the Prophet ﷺ was as well. What do you say? Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. How I perform salah is how you perform salah. He never said, Qum, thumma raka', thumma qum, wa qul. This is how he read it. Sometimes he read the words a bit louder so they could hear it. You know what he was reading. So practically teaching somebody. U'allimukum, what does Sahaba say? U'allimukum wudu'a Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let me teach you the wudu of Rasulullah. What did he do? Get water and actually perform the wudu. So that they could what? They could teach practically. So something that's very, very important. That you've taken a lot more visually. So as much as possible, try to utilize the board. If you have a laptop or you have a screen or printouts or whatever, it's so much more. It's so the amount, I think, I haven't got statistics, but it's a lot more. If you've got a chart, you've got a table, you've got a summary in table form, chart form, it makes it so much easier for them. Many of you know this hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, this is a man's life. This is a man's life. This is a man's hope. His hope's all the way there. This is death. So he kind of made a visual for us. I didn't get a picture of a dead sheep because it might gross somebody out. But once the Prophet ﷺ was passing by a dead sheep, and he said, who wants to buy this dead sheep? What did they say? Who wants to buy a dead sheep? You've got no value. This is the dunya. So wherever you got a chance of visuals, use these things. And even that as well. Like you take an opportunity, not just to say, sit down in the masjid and say, the dunya is madhmoom. He actually, a very emotionally significant part where they saw a disgusting dead animal. He used that as a method of teaching to just hit home significance. Okay. Now the same thing, the same example. The Prophet ﷺ, he had that when the dead sheep was on the floor, he gave an example. So in our teaching, we need to try to create relevance and try to create relevance to our teaching. So recently we had an interview with 2 teachers. So one of them we gave them for new teachers. So we gave them, it's an alim class, but it's relevant to all of us. So one of them was given their part of the interview was in advance prepare this chapter. One is Kitabul Luqta, one is Kitabul Laqit. This is the introductory part. Luqta is lost property, and Laqit is an abandoned child kind of. No, they explained it. They explained it in the text and whatever. But I said to them after these 2 were hired. So when I was discussing with them, I said, not criticize anybody, but just open your minds a bit. So Luqta, when you say Luqta, in the books of fiqh, Quduri was written what? 700, 800 Hijri. So they wrote to this, if something is found, if you come into class and you say, this is a ruling of a Luqta, Luqta lost property, if it's found out, you find something, you have to ta'rif, and you have to announce it for 1 year, if its value is more than 10 dirhams, explain it, blah, blah, blah. Students write the notes, they're going to make a summary, and they get bored, and they'll go home, and close the book, go home. If you come in class and say, you know what, this is relevant to our UK life in UK. So this is UK life. Come in class. I was walking down the street, and somebody had an old barbecue outside the front door. What's the masla here? And straight away they think, hey, this is interesting. Can I take that? So you get what I'm saying now, lost property, just in historical context, is not of interest. You get what I'm trying to say? Similar example, you have kids, istinja. So istinja with water, istinja with tissue. Put a question to them. You're in the airport, there's no water. What happens now? What do you do now? How do you address this scenario? Now, so real life, they could see this happen to them, innit? Those who have traveled, those who have been to the motorway train, the station, they can put themselves in scenario. So now this becomes relevant. It hits home with them. This is me. I am involved in this, as opposed to this being a abstract concept which happened. So what the fuqaha of those times, they wrote something. Obviously, you are maktab, so a lot of the books have been adapted. But even then, you may have a masala which occurs now, a new masala. Try to bring relevance. Make it seem as if this. So fiqh is not or religion is not a dead thing that you study in books. Bring it alive. Bring it alive with examples. Bring it alive with... So I said, for example, look, somebody's stuff outside somebody's house. Why not go on Google and look for laws of lost property? What are the laws in the UK? What happens then? So then this whole science, this whole chapter, a very short chapter, comes alive. Just seeing it living. Why not go and if you know Arabic, Al-Qalam lil-Amwal mafkuda في Saudi. What's the law in Saudi? Is it Hanafi? Is it Hanbali law? Is it a new law? Has it changed? How much is it applied? You can see now all of a sudden this whole masala has a whole new. They say that the masala is if you find something more than 10 dirhams, you have to do ta'arif. You have to announce it for 1 year. You find somebody's phone. How would you find the owner? Ta'arif is, oh, you have to hang it in a high place. That's in those times. In our times, what would you do? How would you find the owner of a phone? You found a phone in a park. How would you find the owner? So now this masala of luqta, if we design this went through the book, went through the text, in the Darulum setting or of Alim class setting, what happens now is just a masala, it's in the books and it's like, but if you bring it to life. Now this is now they appreciate Islam as well. Now that Islam is relevant to what we're doing. It's like real life. The Prophet ﷺ has taught us everything. Just we have to find the answers. We have to find the relevance to it. Another example is laqit. Somebody abandons a child. It happens nowadays as well, but very less. In poor countries, it happens more. So what happens then? There's one text there that if a child is lost and two people come forth and both of them claim it. So it says here, if there's an alama in his body, then the one who describes the alama, she or he is more worthy of claiming the child. That's a text. And you explain that, you go along. But alama, the fuqaha mentioned 1 point. Bring that to life. What does alama mean? There's some evidence, there's circumstantial evidence to substantiate the claim. So what happens? What would happen? What would you do in our time? You have DNA tests, you have maternity tests. How do these things work? Do you have certificates? You have birth certificates, you have picture evidence. Now, what this masala comes to life straight away, and the people think, whoa, this is something. There's another masala in that same text. So I'm not trying to take about this bab, I'm saying, generally speaking, how you can bring the fiqh to life, how you can bring seerah to life. There's a masala that if there's a child found in a Muslim city, what happens to him? Is he counted as a Muslim? What will happen? What's the law in the UK? What about refugees? So many refugees. What if a child is found in a refugee area? What's the law then? Will he be given citizenship? Will he be counted as a refugee? So now the discussion, everybody will find this some kind of, this is relevant to us. This is much more interesting. So I'll give you an example of 2 chapters. But what about in any lesson you do? Whether it's to do with istinja, whether it's to do with salah, whether it's to do with anything, hajj, anything you're teaching, make it relevant, bring it to life, make them feel that it's something that I'm not learning I'm not learning in madrasa, I'm learning how to live my life. And then they will have passion for it. They'll automatically want to learn. The best way of controlling behavior, the best way of getting the best is that if students enjoy the class, they don't misbehave. They don't have time to misbehave. They might do some silly stuff what kids do normally, but they're not going to mess up because they're having fun in the class. The class itself is fun and relevant. We don't have to make our class fun and make everything into a joke or make everything on their level, but this itself, make it, so don't stoop to their level, bring them up to your level in a good way. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't have to make everything the fun and games. You don't have to make everything into a joke or make everything like a play. But we can keep it as it is, sacred, but make it relevant to them, make it attractive to them, bring them up to your level. It's very easy. But you just have to think out of the box a bit, use your brains a bit, use a bit of imagination, a bit of creativity. Okay? Everybody with me? Anybody want to sneak out but it's too boring? No? Any questions? You're still worrying about that thing by heart? Have you? It's not bugging you anymore. Okay. Don't say press me. You want to sneak out your board? Okay. وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ. What's this mean? وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ.
Would you do the same for young children's class as well?
What?
How would you make a young children's class like 5-6-year-olds relevant?
Depends on what you're teaching. There's a teacher training course, An-Nasiha, they done it. So they did a lot more interactive. So they gave each people a personal masala. How do you explain this? So when it came to us, they said explain the masala of sutra. So how would you make this? So I said, so our group. And they pick on me. They said, you like all these things. Let's see what you're going to do. So they put me up. So I said, okay, well, our group. I said, look. So I stood up there and I said, the other guy. So I said, I'm going to explain the lesson to you. So it's two Malanas like a clown in front of the masjid. But anyways, what it was, I was standing there. No, one was standing there, and I kept walking in front of the crowd when he was giving the class. So all the other people were there, and he was explaining the Masala, and I kept on walking across in front of him. So now this is sutra. Because you're talking to Allah, and somebody can walk in front of you, how are you going to concentrate? So you get what I'm trying to say? So I said, I would do this. I would be a teacher, and I get one kid to keep on walking in front of, between the class, disrupting everybody. What are you doing? The same example. So, as I said, you can't teach juz'iyat of everything. You have to have the imagination, and you have to have the thing that, how do I make this fun? And then you could come up with better ideas than that. But that's just my idea I came up with. So, as I said, and that's because when they were teaching this, I thought, okay, yeah. But in any masala, in anything, it's up to you. And as I said, even if anything, you can't teach everybody every single thing. You understand a principle that, you know what, that's true. How can I make this more exciting? And you know, when you get into a field and you really like it, it comes to your mind. Allah helps you. But you got to think for a while, innit? If you think and you put in a bit of attention, you put your mind to it, you'll find out things. And most of us have brothers, sisters, kids. So you know what kids like. You know how people work, how minds work. So yeah, it applies everywhere. In that same book, Jeff Petty's, if you get a chance, buy that book. It's called Learning Today. If you get a chance, that was one of the books that changed my life. Jeff Petty. Jeff Petty, Learning Today. It's a very good book. So he says in the same thing. What happens? He goes, I give this, he takes courses as well, but this is the book. He goes, I give these courses everywhere. And everybody says, wow, mashallah, very good. They don't say mashallah, but yeah. They say, brilliant idea. Because when I go and check how they're teaching, they're not following anything. So he said, why? He goes, oh, it's a good idea, but it doesn't work in my class. Because my class is different. It doesn't work in my setting because I'm different. So a university teacher would just automatically assume, oh, it doesn't work here. What you're saying is fine, but it can't work in a university setting. We have that same thing as well. Oh, yeah, it's good in school, but it doesn't work in madrasa. It's really good. It doesn't work in Darul. It doesn't work in Alim class. Everything can work everywhere. But we block our minds off. We don't have the horses, what's called the blinkers. What's called the blinkers. So we block our mind off. So then we just stick the same circle. So yeah, so you apply it everywhere. And even not in madrasa. You can even do it in anywhere. You could do it in foot. I said, I don't know. This is a bit too extreme idea, right? But it might, my daughters are struggling with the jim, ha, kha. That's one set of letters. And the dal, ra, za. And sin, shin, sad, dad, those groups. I can't get it done. So I said, okay, no, we do. So I got printout. So sad on one A4, dad on one A4, sin and sheen. So I stuck it in 4 parts of the room, or different parts of the house. So then their game was, they play fireman, or firewoman, fire child, whatever. So then one person has to say, there's a fire outside. And they have to run to the sod and just pretend it's fire. So you get what I'm trying to say? So then, within that play, we're teaching them, that's right. So where's the sod, where's the, and we change it. So that was their game for a week. And they're done. You get what I'm saying? You know how space in here? Someone might think it's a bit stark or disrespectful, but get football goals. So kick it. Now you have training football, you have to test reflexes. So when you have the game session, isn't it? We get the kids, kick there. Pass to ta, pass to tha. Put that. This different things. It's just a matter of using your idea and using your brain. So when you have these, it can work anywhere. But we just have, if you come into it thinking, no, it ain't gonna work in maktab. It works in school, not in maktab. You're never gonna work in it. You get what I'm trying to say. So the first thing is, I said, leaving your jahl murakkab. Leaving that thing that no. Not knowing a thing and not knowing that you don't know. If you think, you know what, it's not, it's difficult. Imagine like a kid learning like foreign language with 2 dots, and the dots are different. It's difficult for kids. Some kids are really shy, they pick it up. Some kids don't. They take longer. I mean, sometimes you have kids that 2 can't talk, and some got 3, 2.5 they can't talk, and some at 1.5 start talking, start saying words. So they develop. So you have to think of ideas. You can do it in any kind of idea. Just like this is thoughts that came to my mind. So anyways, you can do it. Any other questions? Before we move on. You don't know who asked questions. You're probably the biggest concern. I think the kuwa come from him, not from him. He's the one that's a bit more. Yeah. Shall we move on? Yeah, you move on. Any questions from the ladies' side? Anybody? Any questions? Everybody? Okay. No? Okay. There's one student, so he was never asked any questions in class. So the teacher said, no, why don't you ask any questions? He said, no. So okay. Next day he came in class and the masla was talking about fasting. So he said, when the sun sets, then you break the fast. So he goes, I got a question myself. What's the question? What if the sun doesn't set? Because you know what? It's best you don't ask questions. You just stay. Your questions are so if there are no questions, they're not trying to make a question for the sake of asking a question.